Yes, I was part of the student representative council at our school in 86. Some of the police came into our classroom and they started to beat us who wasn't even involved. I still have some marks on my body, which shows how I was beaten at the time. And from that time, I decided to become involved in the struggle against apartheid and the injustices that have been done to our people.
So one of the first things has been to accept that I do come from upheaval, imbalance, illusions, lies, but it starts here. The apartheid genocide only stops when it stops for the individual.
One Friday I went home. The house was there, but there was nobody in our yard. And all of a sudden my brother came from the back and he told me that everybody had to move to the flats. That was the saddest part that day. They left behind like broken people. Yeah. Old broken people. They still crying for their places. They're still crying for their houses, their families.
Our mothers or our grandmothers were taken from their liquor houses and space and stuff and were forced into this area.
That it was a master strategy of the then National Party. The master strategy was to frustrate us.
Yeah.
That's basically it. And because maybe it was a family of 10 staying in one bedroom house, the children that time that grew up at that time, they wanted their privacy. And they didn't have their privacy in the house. So they would venture outside and stand on the corner. And that is how the corner boys was found and formed, you understand?
I lived in a house where it was verbal abuse, it was alcohol abuse, it was emotional abuse. We all had to sleep in one room. It was hectic, but every day I chose to wake up with a smile on my face.
En ek 4 susters, die een suster is in die 84 doodgerei. Naby die plaas, net in die boven, in die teerpad. Na die kerk ingekomen. Het 'n blanke ou doodgerei. En wat hy toegedoen het, die boer toegedoen het, sy seun het gery wat nie lisensie gehad het. En toe hulle omtrent 100 meter na hulle doodgerei, 100 meter ver gaan staan en toe hulle gechange.
Unfortunately, the roles haven't changed. We haven't redefined what is a man and we haven't redefined what is a woman.
My pa het geen respect vir my ma gehad. Hy was a cheater. Hy het baie ander vrouens gehad, maar my ma het nog altyd by hom gestaan. Ek het groot geword met 'n pa wat gedrink het. My ma het nooit gedrink of gerook nie. En ja, my pa was baie keer abusive. My ma geslaan en ek het nog nie in die lewe.
The problem that we are facing in the police station, we are going to report this person. Maybe you are going to open the case for. I'm going to open the case for my husband, and then in the next 24 hours, the person's again back in the community.
It's very rife in this area, and basically because of unemployment, many of the men is not working, they're unemployed. Also, there's a lot of people staying in one house.
It's very difficult to do that protection order to the someone that you are staying with in the house. That is very difficult.
I'm coming from an abusive relationships. Then I decided to leave it. But most of us women, we have that tendency of what are the people going to say if I leave this marriage?
Also, all the time to keep people in, or to tell people not to be silent, but to speak out. Many times when we speak to women, they will always say to us, but I thought I'm the only one that's going through that.
Soos in vroue wat verkragt word, wat mishandel word. Hulle is so bang om polisiestasie toe te gaan, want aan die einde van die dag lyk dit asof die polisieman na die vrou voel asof sy aanleiding gegee het of sy die manne geroep het en gesê
as jy positief is aan word jy amper soos van eie isoleer.
ja,
Jy weet jy kopie jou beker jou lepel en daai goed. En mense is amper skaam om spesifiek nog om te declare juist oor die stigmatisering van hulle.
You find youngsters, they are in Doringbaai, they are maybe 18 years old or 17. They cannot read properly, not write properly. There's too much dropouts of school. And my thing is education is the key of being successful.
People, in order to drown their sorrows, because they are unemployed, then they resort, to substance abuse, alcohol abuse, and that affects families. Also, one of the reasons would be the lack of social amenities, because we don't have much, sports fields and what have you,
It's very easy to join gangs because in basically every street there's a gang still staying. And of course, those who don't want to be part of the gang, they become victims. They become targets for the gangs, and that also contributes to many youngsters not going to school. Because if they go to school in the morning, then there's gangs standing around the school and starting to threaten them.
I won't lie, I used to come from school, put my school bag down, walk to the library and sit in the library while the shooting was happening around you.
Even at school, it's not even safe at school because they like shoot there at school.
The problem that we have here is that many men in the morning when they go to work, they get attacked. So then they would eventually decide but not to go to work because the taxi fares are either been taken or they are being physically assaulted.
What was difficult about Manenberg is the people that were doing the shooting were the same people. We all know each other. So it's not like it's a total stranger. No, I know before he was an HR, before he was an American, he used to be a student that's Silver Street Secondary. It's the same people.
I also see the need in our communities for social justice. I believe that's a way forward, and in fact to empower people and make their lives a bit better.
A lot of moms are single moms, so they need to work, they still need to come and cook, so they're very tired when they get from work, they still need to come cook, iron, washing, all that. So they don't have time to sit with the teenagers in their eyes.
Babatjies het dat hulle terugkom skool toe. Nou vra ek nou, waar is jou kind se pa nou? Ja, by daarom. Nee, vir ek worry nie met my dominee. So hulle laat gaan maar net. En hulle besef nie maar daai man kan dieselfde doen aan 1, 2, 3, 4 ander meisies.
I think we've got too many absent fathers also. There's no role models. There's no father role models anymore. That the boy can go and he and his father can sit. They can discuss things and things like that. They have to speak to their mother. And their mother does not have the answers all the time for them. See, nowadays, most of the women are the leaders in the community. But even if you look at the neighborhood wards, I'm the chairperson of our neighborhood wards in the Hague. The men are sleeping with just a woman that's walking. They will look around, they don't care about us. We are the women that stand up, that had to chase the gangsters, that had to stand up against the gangsters while our husbands are lying home in bed. They don't care what's happening with us.
Rise up again, Rise again, my friend, as you feel the blessing.
As a leader in all the communities, it's important not have that mentality of ek is beter as iemand anders. You must heal you must heal yourself before you heal a community. And it's so important in nowadays, everyone point finger to each other. Maar hulle kom nooit sê maar kom ek kyk na my. Kom ek probeer veranderinge maak in myself. En waar om te begin is by jou familie. Dealing with your past. You must know where you come from. And then you will know actually where you're going. In small communities, people often have the mentality of I want to have something from the government. But they don't have the time to look in the community what resource is there which they can actually use to change the social circumstances or the economical in the community.
Okay, also I am serving on Siyakha. Siyakha meaning that we are building an Afrikaans on bowl. This is a provincial healing forum, community healing forum. At a community level, what we are doing here, we are dealing with social problems. At the moment, busy, trying to set up some structures that are going to be the containers of the social dialogue, because I think it is important that we dialogue as the community, about the challenges that we have.
Ik is ook deel van die Siyakha groep vir ons affilieer onder die Instituut vir Justisie en Reconciliasie. Ik werk ook nou met die kinders wat nie wil skool gaan nie. Ik help hulle. Ik het verlede jaar een matrikulant van die straat gaan afhaal by die tip. Soos ons sê die tip waar hulle die vullis gaan gooi.
Like in kids, they don't have fathers specifically or absent fathers. So we select them in terms of schools. We speak to Protea and the Valiers and Bears. These are 3 secondary school, primary schools that we are actually targeting. And then we've got 20 males, 20 men and 10 men. So the 20 men is a mentors and the 10 is a mentees.
The gangsters. Okay. Robbing the people, breaking in the houses, and when they see us, they just run away. And we also search them, and then we gather around, close the shops, they throw stones, and then we gather around and just chase them away. And we don't have them.
Currently, what's happening in Bonteheuwel also, there's a resurgence in terms of doing something about gang violence.
Oh wow. Okay.
So I'm part of that. I belong to what is called the Joint Peace Forum, the JPF. The group is started about, I think, two or 3 years ago, where all concerned came together and then we marched.
I'm trying to identify, get solution of the challenge as well for the challenges that the other women are having in the community. As I am a single woman, and I'm raising 3 children alone, so I know how challenging it is and how difficult it is. That's the reason why I have this passion of helping other women that are facing the same challenges that I am having.
En dan het ek self 'n projek begin met aftercare. Ek probeer om die kinders, veral die seuns van die straat af te hou, dat hulle nie by gangster betrokke. Want die jongens gebruik, die klein kinders, die laerskoolkinders om hulle vuil werke te doen. En ek doen alles uit my sak. Ek kry geen sponsor van niemand af.
En ons kinders het nie regtig visie nie. En hulle ambisie is ook nie daar nie. Is maar net ek wil 'n matriek klaar maak en dan sit hulle maar by die huis. So So ons probeer vir hulle wys daar is 'n wêreld aan die kant die kom ook op een.
And also involved with a sanctuary for abused women and children. So what we basically do is to assist women with also with the protection orders. Also when they have a problem, we assist them with counseling. Many times members of the community would also come to me or come to us here and say to us that they are aware of a woman that's been abused in a house, and then we would go there because many of them wouldn't come themselves because they're scared.
When Cape Town rains, the mountain.
My dream in this community is about a child, and the child must be know everything that it doesn't okay, like drugs, like alcohol.
I would like to see all the women being able to having skills, being able to provide income and take their children to school, being able to survive and not dependent.
So I'm hoping that the debate and the discussions will inform those that are in power to influence, so that we can get to a place of healing and a place of equality.
Sou ek sê dat ek sal moet iewers 'n kantoor kry of 'n plekkie kry waar ek met daai vroue kan deel. Want jy kan nie vir iemand berading gee en dan is dit nie 'n plek wat genoegsame dinge gee om met daai vrou te deel, want jy weet wanneer jy met 'n vrou werk wat verkragt is, maar gaan nie onderbrekings wees nie en sulke goed.
Therefore, I see a need, especially these days, for a Siyakha Community Healing Group in all communities, because our communities are in urgent need of healing. Social, inside emotional healing, also community healing itself, because there's a lot of distrust between communities. And therefore, I think for Siyakha to survive, it's important to survive because there's a need for this service within all our communities.
A safer community and a more educated community.
My dream for my community is peace, reconciliation, hope.
Amazing grace, grace on me. When Cape Town rains, the mountain cries of poison souls in flight. The rainbow smells of life in us. The day that